Hi, welcome back to part 2B of the OWASP vulnerability scanning video tutorial series. In this video, we are installing the web scanner on our local hardware, not in the cloud. So we will get exactly the same software stack as we had in the cloud from the previous video, except the Postgres database. We will not be installing that. We don't really need it on the local setup, but we will launching the ZAP service and the Web UI. So let's just get started with that. It is pretty simple. We just head back to the blog article here where all the resources are. And I'll, of course, have a link to this article in the video description. And the best way we can find the GitHub page is simply by searching for README. It is right here. And then we just click this button and we are taken to the GitHub repository where the software is. And we'll clone it to our local machine. So I'll just open a git bash terminal. Find the direction where I want to put it and do git clone, paste in that URL, and it is cloning it. Next, I like to open it up in VS Code. There I have a better overview. So we are now in VS Code and I have the README open here, the same README as we saw on the GitHub page. And here is all the local installation instructions. So we need to run this Docker image here on our machine. And in order to be able to do that, we need Docker desktop to be running. So I believe I have it running already right here. Yeah, I have Docker desktop already running, but it looks like this. This is the application that you need if you don't already have it. This allows you to run Docker containers on Windows or Mac or whatever other operating system you're on. I already have it running, so I can simply just take this command here, copy it and put it in a terminal in VS Code. Now it is spinning up. And as I said, if you didn't already run this before, if it's the first time, it will take longer than it does for me here because it will first need to download the image, which takes a while. But after that, it should be fairly quickly to spin up the container itself. But there is more that we need to do. So if we look back here at the local installation instructions, we need to navigate to the ZAP repository folder. So this one, and then we need to install dependencies. I use pnpm, so I can simply use pnpm-i and hit enter, and it will start installing dependencies. Next thing, we need to rename the template file to remove the template. So I can simply I like to make a copy of it, so I'll do that and make a copy, and then I'll rename the copy. So always have the template. Okay, now we have the configuration file. It contains a little bit about where the application should run on. And then we just need to wait for the dependencies to install before we can launch it with the final command. All right, dependencies have been installed, and I can see also here that this right here listening on localhost 8080 is a sign that the Docker image is also fully running. So we should be able to build and launch the Node application with this command right here. Let's try and do just that. And the build step probably takes some time as well, so I will just pause the video recording and come back as soon as it has finished. All right, everything is now ready. Let's try and head over to this URL here, localhost 3001. And this is a good sign, success. We see now on our local host, we have exactly the same web scanner as I had in the cloud. So this one is from the previous video and the cloud installation video, the cloud version. This URL right here, I can access from anywhere in the world. I can access it from my mobile phone and devices outside of my local network. This one, on the other hand, it's running on this very computer that I'm recording from and can only be accessed from here. But one great thing that this actually allows is to also scan localhost applications. So if you are developing something on your local machine and you want to give it a scan before you publish it, you could put in here localhost and then whatever port, it's usually something like 8000, and then start scanning an application running on your local machine. That is not possible from the cloud version because your local applications aren't really exposed to the global network and DNS, so it wouldn't be able to find it. I'm not going to start a scan in this video on my local machine for a number of reasons. The first one is I already demonstrated the scanner in the first video where I also showed the results and how to interpret them. And the other reason is that my hardware is simply not sufficient to complete a full scan, at least not while also running screen recording. So I'm having running here the Node application and the ZAP service itself, and the ZAP service is really resource hungry, and it will not be able to complete a scan on my laptop while I'm also doing screen recording. And for that reason, I always prefer using the cloud machine, because here over at Railway, we can see on our ZAP instance here, if we scroll back here, then this service alone is isolated, and it has this resources allocated, so 8 virtual CPU cores and 8 gigabytes of RAM. And on my machine, I'm running this one, I'm running this one, and I'm also running a screen recording program, which is really heavy, and operating system and a browser, and it's simply not able to complete the scan. I also said this in the first video, do not expect to be able to run the ZAP scanner on a small laptop like a Chromebook. You need some hardware to run it. That's going to be all for the local installation setup video. I hope you found it useful. That's all for now. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.